Hello everyone and welcome to Past the Post. This is Michael Adolphs and we're going to go over some of the very best racing from around the world, including some top action here in the UAE. First we had a huge card at Meydan for the Dubai Racing Carnival's 5th evening, including 9 fixtures, kicking off with Group 1 action in the Al Maktoum Challenge Round 1 for the Purebred Arabians worth $500,000 dirhams and going over the 1,600-meter mile distance. This one turned out to be a bit of a shocker as Mubid flew on the outside with only a 98 rating under Ray Dawson for Jabir Bitar, giving that trainer his second group win in as many weeks at Meydan. AF Alajaj and Baraka, the two most fancied horses in the races, had to settle for second and third.
There was a few question marks. Would he handle the trip? Would he handle the track? Would he be good enough? And he's ticked all them boxes, and I couldn't be happy for Connections. They've got another smart horse in their hand.
Returning for home, just going through the trip, obviously it looked like you were trying to get him to get going on the turn, having a little bit of issue, but when he when he straightened out in the lane, he really supplied for you.
Yeah, he's quick away, but so are a lot of these horses, and he got a lot of kickback early, and he was a little bit hesitant, and he's not used to quickening on a bend, and he just got a little bit green. And to be honest with you, I was questioning was he going to pick up, but when I sat into him a few times, he gave me the feel he had plenty left. I just had to try and get a bit of room in front of me, and once I did, he chased down the Tygo Shea very well and showed a great attitude. He's still very green mentally, so he's an exciting horse.
The first thoroughbred race of the evening followed, the Irtijal Dubai Dash, a listed affair over a quick 5 furlong 1,000-meter distance down the straight at Meydan and the first turf race of the season. With $500,000 dirhams on the line, Cover Up flew down the lane to gobble up favourite Bill Hale in the final strides. Bombay Bazaar, a bit of a long shot for Bhupat Simar, ran very well to be third here, while the well-fancied and defending champ Pontos was back in fourth. The final margin of victory was just under a half length, with William Buick getting his first win in his first ride of the season. Simon and Ed Crisford trained the son of Exceed and Excel.
Bill Hale is cruising up. Bill Hale with 350 to go puts it to Pontos here. Bill Hale a length on Pontos, who tries to fight back. Cover Up makes ground along with Bombay Bazaar. Bill Hale still with an advantage inside the 200 here, running on. Cover Up from the back. Cover Up picking up really, really good. Bill Hale needs the line. Cover Up late. Cover Up gets him. Cover Up at the shadows of the post wins the Irtijal Dubai Dash.
Beautifully timed ride by William Buick on Cover Up here in the Irtijal Dubai Dash. He really just, he's got some gears there. This is a horse that's pretty exciting for the carnival here.
He is. They went fast, which you would expect on paper, with Pontos in the race and a few other speed horses. And, he jumps good, but then it takes a bit of time to warm into the race. But halfway he was going, better than any horse, and he leveled that beautifully. And, he got a clear shot at them. He had a lot of ground to make up on Bill Hale. But I always felt the line was just going to be coming in time for us. When he won at Doncaster last start in the UK, the ground was very soft, and he probably did well to win that day. So, look, he had to improve to win tonight, but thankfully he did.
I know you do your analysis before. You were probably watching Ben the entire time, just trying to get your time yourself perfectly for it.
You can sort of you always want to do various things, and but you have to go with the situation you're given a lot of the time. And look, when Ben kicked, he looked the winner. So, but once I sort of found him, Cover Up, he really picked up. So, great performance. And I thought it was a tough race on paper. So credit to the horse.
The third race of the evening was the first stakes of the season for the 2-year-old fillies. This was the Shahama Stakes, named after the UAE Oaks winner of 2022, who dominated her foes here. Over 7 furlongs, this race was turned upside down with the late scratch of Aurigatu Gozimaisu. Second to her last time, Flame of Sunshine took the spoils this time, as she took the lead from the get-go under Tygo Shea and looked very impressive down the lane. A bargain 40,000 purchase from Fasik Tipton's May Sale, she beat out Queen Azteca by 2 lengths. Taswaheen was back in third, running on gamely.
Into the raised running they come here, and it is Flamer Sunshine who heads in, a narrow leader up on the running rail from Tazwaheen. Salsaville Princess drops away. Ruby Hamilton a little plain here in the late stages as they start to really hot it up here with 300 metres to go. Queen Azteca getting a run on with it late. Up in front, Parisian Beauty the leader. Up in front rather it is Flamer Sunshine the leader from Tazwaheen. Queen Azteca running on. Flamer Sunshine the leader though. Flamer Sunshine's got enough in hand, and Flamer Sunshine comes away to win the Shahama. Flamer Sunshine by 2.5. Queen Azteca a good run.
She's a filly with a lot of speed, and I think first time she was a bit green, and that caught her out a little bit. But she ran a very good race, and she learned quite a lot from that. And today, it worked out.
For you had 5 fillies in the race. There are only so many spots you can choose. But just going in, how did you kind of strategize this and tell the jockeys what to do?
Well, they all have to do the best they can. You can't, there's no favors for anyone. But the thing was that she had a previous experience on this track. So did Renaroso. We put blinkers on her. Salsaville Princess ran well. But, there's only so many chances you can take with fillies, so they all have to run together.
Did it surprise you, or at least what were your thoughts on just how gritty she was? She kind of turned back the first horse. There was another horse coming, and she wasn't giving up.
Yeah, and she had to use a little bit of gas early. So I think that was showing a little bit in the end. But I think she'll learn a lot from here. She's a good filly with a lot of speed, and I hope she can stay.
The second turf race of the season at Meydan was the Business Bay Challenge. This listed affair was also worth $500,000 dirhams, but is over 7 furlongs or 1,400 meters around one turn. The horses to watch in the race seem to be Dania, an Outcalls winner from the past, and the well-regarded San Donato, now in the barn of Michael Costa. But both were gobbled up in the final strides by Godolphin's Native Approach, a lightly raced son of Too Darn Hot that saw his rating increase 8 pounds from the 98. Native Approach was very impressive in the listed Business Bay Challenge under William Buick. First win of the season for Godolphin in the Carnival. And this is a horse that I noticed you only gave him maybe 2.5 cracks down the lane. You were pretty confident.
Once he got out and got running, I was confident, yeah. But, I left him plenty to do. Yeah. He didn't break very fast, and he doesn't break very fast. And I was worried that, if I let him go, he'd be on the outside doing too much the whole way, and none of us would learn anything. So I took a chance and dropped him in, and thinking, he would start off his campaign in good style. And once I got him out, eventually, and got running, he picked up super well, and he was going away at the line. He was a comfortable winner.
And over the last decade plus, Charlie's had so many of these good 7 furlong kind of niche horses. Where does he fall on the line? Do you think this is like kind of where he's going to be very comfortable?
It's 7 furlong miler, I do think probably a mile will be his optimum trip. Now he manages everything better, and the team at home have done a great job with him. So we saw when he ran in the Craven the last time, everything went wrong for him. So he's much more the sort of the finished article. So yeah, if 7 furlong or a mile, either or. But the future hopefully will lay over a mile.
The feature of the evening on this festive Friday card at Meydan was the Group 2 Al Maktoum Mile, worth 1 million dirhams, or about $270,000. Over 1 mile and 1,600 meters, this one looked like a big matchup between Mestri, a speedy sort from Michael Costa, as well as American import Artorias and Clapton, also coming from America. Instead, Mestri turned it into a one-horse affair, winning by an easy 3 lengths under Ben Cohen for His Highness Sheikh Ahmed bin Rashid Al Maktoum. Karib, always a consistent sort, finished a good second. Artorias could only manage third here, while Clapton failed back in 5th.
Down the side they travel. Mestri looking to echo the sentiments of last start and go back to back here. Leading the way by a half, Desert Wisdom now felt 4, Karib third, 4th Quality Humour also asked for an effort. Clapton going backwards here in the late stages here, and Artorias is not going well either. It's Mestri the leader. Mestri inside the 400. This is not a result that we were expecting. Mestri the leader, but Karib and Quality Humour are the challengers. Mestri still trying to go all the way. Karib out after him. Quality Humour third, Clapton and Artorias nowhere to be seen. Mestri by 3 lengths here in the Al Maktoum Mile. Karib the only threat, but it's Mestri's Al Maktoum Mile all the way. 3 lengths on the line. Karib over second, third Artorias got going late.
Yeah, he continues to improve. We thought he ran really well last run, but had the blinkers on. It wasn't until the other horse got next to him that he sort of pinned the ears back, so we put the visors on him tonight. We're very soft with him in between runs, but he just thrived coming off the back of the last win. So he's a horse still putting it together, and we'll see where we go from here.
You think you'll stretch him out, or do you look at races, there could be maybe a Saudi Cup invite for him, things like that? Any pipe dreams for him?
Look, there's plenty of options both ways. It's good options to have, so we'll speak to His Highness. He's a very good judge in making the right call, so we'll have a discussion and see.
The second biggest race of the evening was the third turf race, the Group 2 Al Rashidiyah, sponsored by Emaar, worth 850,000 dirhams for 3-year-olds and up, over 1,800 meters, a course and distance prep for the Dubai Turf in April. This one included a horse who finished fourth in that race, Measured Time, who has since become a Grade 1 winner in the States and come back here and look like a proper horse on the day, crushing the track record set by Just Away in the Dubai Turf almost a decade ago. Running off and winning impressively, he saw his rating increase from 117 to 118 in the process with this 7-length victory. Cairo was back in second with Royal Dubai rounding out the top three.
Measured Time travelling well, still on the steal past the 700 metres, and the margin has yet to increase. 2.5 on Cairo, who goes with him, but Measured Time is cruising along up in front. Daramethos given a shake-up, Royal Dubai the same. Homebrew gets up to fifth now from Natural World. Sean still with a lot to do, and Franz Kafka last. He cruises into the straight here, does William Buick on Measured Time. 3 lengths now, 3.5 to 4 lengths from Cairo, who's being whacked away here. Royal Dubai, Daramethos, they can do no more. Measured Time extending away. 6 lengths here in the Al Rashidiyah, and he's got the back-to-back crown sewn up. Very impressive. Welcome back to Dubai, Measured Time. 6.5 on the line. Cairo second, Royal Dubai third.
Just take us through the race. He was just on the bridle the whole way.
Yeah, he was, and we let him use his stride. Look, he was a little bit fresh, and he was doing too much with me, really. That's also his nature. He's like his half brother, Rebels Romance, ultra genuine, and they give their all. But he kept finding in the stretch, and he's a horse who gets 10 furlongs at least. So we knew he stays well. He didn't need to put up a performance like that tonight, but that's the horse he is. Every time he runs, he does his best, and he's a class horse. So look, he's I don't know the immediate plans, but I'm guessing he'll come back for the Jebel Ali in January, and then take it from there. He's still only a 4-year-old. He'll be 5 next year, so he's not ran that many times. So I know I keep saying it about this horse, but I do think he's still got some improvement left in him, and I hope he can. He's already won at the top level twice, and I hope that he can improve on that.
Impressive victories continued next up in the listed the Entazar. Over 9.5 furlongs or 1,900 meters, just 100 meters shy of the 1.25 mile distance of the Dubai World Cup, and definitely a prep toward that race. Walk of Stars went to the front and never looked back in this affair under Taigo Shea for Bhupat Seymour, winning by nearly 12 lengths at the wire over favourite Autobahn. The son of Dubawi, out of Sound Reflection, proved to be a proper horse, stretching out to 2 turns again and franking the form of the Dubai Creek Mile, in which he finished second to Mestri last time. He saw his rating increase from 109 to 117, and now could be a horse who looks forward to races like the Saudi Cup in the future. Local Dynasty rounded out the top 3.
It's Walk of Stars, and presenting up on the outside now, Autobahn. Autobahn gets within a half of Walk of Stars. Walk of Stars trying to do it the hard way all the way. A half length now on Autobahn, who gives chase. Third in running. Running into it here was Local Dynasty, followed by Dahabi. It's Walk of Stars though. Walk of Stars, could it be the day? 6 clear of Autobahn. Running on late here was Local Dynasty. It is up in front here, running on very, very fast was Walk of Stars, and today is the day. Walk of Stars, impressive. 8 lengths, destroys them in the Entazar.
When you saw him go to the front today, and you saw him carving out comfortable fractions, especially with how fractious he was earlier, were you confident?
We completely changed it from a month ago when he ran. He's been so frustrating, and I was just joking the other day that he'll probably go run half a length second to Frankel. He runs second to every horse, and we said we're just going to start working from the front, and this is how it's going to be. And it's great when it all pays out and plays out.
And is it, when you have these horses, sometimes they do feel like bridesmaids and they just don't get it done, and you just find their perfect style. That seems to be the case with him. Moving forward, you have horses that do have that front-running style. How are you going to separate them now?
Well, I would think it's a good problem to have, right? Look, I mean, I'm not saying nothing taken away from him, but Autobahn's a very, very good horse, but, they got to train on from 3 to 4, and he is a horse that Charlie Appleby ran in the Epsom Derby, so I think Charlie knows a bit more than I do, probably, and, he obviously thought a bit more of him. And, he's a very high-class horse, and finally it's good to get it done.
The final turf race of the evening was the 12-furlong Dubai Racing Club Classic, sponsored by Emaar, a handicap for 85 to 105 rated thoroughbreds, 3-year-olds and up, 300 grand on the line. Godolphin looked like it had a tough 1-2 punch here with Royal Power and Flying Honors, but it was another 1-2 punch that beat them out when His Highness Sheikh Ahmed's Kafaf and Asasi went 1-2, battling down.
Asasi fighting back on the inside here. Good go to the line. Kafaf does it. Kafaf just.
He's relaxing a lot easier in his races. He likes a bit of space and he likes to warm up into things. So, look, he was always going to improve from the last day fitness-wise. So we were confident enough coming here today.
He's big. The way this track's set up really kind of set up for his kind of style, where he kind of eased his way up at the outside. And when you asked him, he was there for you. When did you know you had it?
When I got him out at the top of the straight, he picked up really well. I thought I was in for a shout then. He only does enough when he gets to the front, so you don't really know how much is left there, but he felt great tonight. We went an even gallop, which made my job a little bit easier. So, he's a horse that's improving.
And the final race of the Marathon 9 race card at Meydan on Festive Friday was the Emaar Downtown Dubai handicap over 6 furlongs or 1,200 meters on the dirt, 80 to 100 rated 3-year-old and up thoroughbreds, and 250 grand for them to run at. This one looked like an impressive affair, a chance for Falcon of Arabia to get back on track, but he indeed did not break well after acting up in the gate and faded down in the process. Instead, it was his stablemate Morning flying from the back to just pip Meshakal at the line. The filly Lakfadi ran on well as a 3-year-old facing older males to finish third. Ty Gaucher was aboard for Bhupat Seymour, completing a hat-trick for the pair.
It's Meshakal. He does like to do this on the occasion and lead from barrier to box, and he's out clear here, and he's the one to chase. 3 lengths in advance of the filly Lafferty. Falcon of Arabia makes chase along with next in running Mr. Carfu. Tarkeed and Morning have each other company with Miss Windtown, but it's Meshakal. He's found his favourite role here this evening, and he's going to be very, very hard to run down here in the last. Meshakal for Salam bin Gadaya and Bernardo Pinheiro. Morning out when it's all too late. Meshakal from Morning dives, maybe got there. Wow, Morning has got there in the nick of time.
I think that 100 rating is where it needs to be honest. And I think once he gets up that, he gets into the group races, but he still runs well. But I think that's where he probably wants to be. That's where he belongs, to be honest. Because there was a nose between the 2 horses, and I hope Stephen, the handicapper, doesn't get too excited about it.
And that being said, carrying top weight, he's not a very big horse. Got to be proud of him. He does a tough little thing.
Yeah, he's a very tough horse. He's always slow out of the gate, and he doesn't like kickback. He comes from the back, and he needs a good early pace in front, and he usually gets it at Meydan. So yeah, he's a good horse. He's a great horse to have.
Racing returns to Meydan on January 3rd for the 6th night of the Dubai Racing Carnival. On Saturday night, December 21st, we head over to the capital for 7 fixtures over the turf course of Abu Dhabi Turf Club. Kicking off the evening at 6 p.m. was a 7-furlong maiden for 3-year-old and up UAE-bred Pyramid Arabians. 70,000 dirhams was on the line. Wearing the victorious red silks was Sandro Pavahir and Yasmin Beinouna, a 3-year-old grey filly who won nicely here by a length and a quarter over Membu Dhabi Al-Hazar. AF Al-Hazan, well regarded and the favourite in the international market, was back in third. The win for Pava continued an impressive ascent for him this season. The second race of the evening in the capital was a handicap over 7 furlongs or 1,400 meters for 0 to 65 rated purebred Arabians, 4-year-olds and up, with 66,000 on the line. This one looked to begin and end with Kala Khalifa Al Nabuda's silver, black, and white silks, and indeed it did, as Tiger O'Shea and Ernst Ertel got one past the goalie with AF Al Taref, a 5-year-old son of AF Al Barak. AF Barik, a stablemate under Marcelino Rodriguez, ran on well to just miss in second. Japyan Sheed was back in third, with Hawa Fez running well in fourth as well. The win continued a big weekend for Tiger O'Shea, who reclaimed his position as number 1 atop the standings in the process. Battling him for that top spot is Connor Beasley, who ran on well in the next race with Alpha T for Ibrahim Al-Hadrami, winning by 2 1/4 lengths in the maiden for 3-year-olds and up, purebred Arabian, 66,000 on the line, mile race. Sama Al-Iz was back in second, with HM Shamika back in third. The win was a bit of a shocker, with the well-fancied horses finishing well back in the field, including market favorite Hazam Al-Wathba all the way back in 10th, beaten 25 lengths. The fourth race of the evening in the capital was a handicap for 0 to 80 rated purebred Arabian UAE breds, this one worth 66,000 and over a marathon 12 furlongs. In the end, Sandro Pava continued his ascent up the jockey standings and his great relationship with trainer Hamad Al-Marar, this time with ES Fayez, winning by a scant margin over Kala Khalifa Al Nabuda's AF Mukrej. Al Asel's Al Ettihad was back in third. The fifth race of the evening was the feature for Arabians. At 8 o'clock, it was the 0 to 100 purebred Arabians 66,000 12 furlong affair. Sylvester de Sousa, not to be denied this week with a nice victory with Majid Al-Johori, won this one by a length with Zaid. RB Yasser, coming out of group action, was back in second. Saleh Muyol Al-Mori was back in third. Hakadu Saleh was a bit of a disappointment, finishing fourth again. The last 2 races of the card in the capital and of the weekend in the UAE were for the thoroughbreds. The 8:30 affair, the handicap for 0 to 90 rated 3-year-olds and up, was a $66,000 purse with 11 furlongs to trench. Stormy Ocean looked like one to watch moving forward, with a nice 2-length victory here for Ahmed bin Harmish. The son of Frankel and as good as gold seems to be better than that 89 rating he stepped into. Gareth was back in second, completing a 1-2 for bin Harmish's Al Afsa Racing. Shadwell's Kathab was back in third. And the UAE concluded with a handicap for thoroughbreds, 3-year-olds and up, 66,000 on the line, over a swift 7 furlongs. Sky Racing continued their productive year, especially with Julia Alasquaga, as expert choice won well here over Taj Deef. Jim Crowley was in the saddle, winning by nearly 3 lengths. Shanghai City rounded out the top 3. The win gave trainer Julia Alasquaga his 4th of the season out of just 28 starts. Now let's look at the UAE standings. As far as the owners go, of course, it is His Highness Sheikh Ahmed bin Rashid Al Maktoum atop the standings with 18 victories, including 2 from this week, the best strike rate with 21%, and the most money out of the top 5 owners with nearly $3 million. Yas Racing is back in second, 1 victory, improving their mark to 13. Kala Khalifa Al Nabuda also got 1 win this week, with moving his mark up to 12. Al Ajban holds steady at 8, with Nazar Askar's morning victory moving his mark to 7 and holding that 5th spot in the top 5. Among the trainers, Michael Costa has those 18 victories, 21% strike rate, and nearly $3 million in earnings, as his owner His Highness Sheikh Ahmed. Musaba Al Maheri shockingly did not get a victory this week and holds steady in second with 15 victories. The big mover was Bupat Simar's Zabil Stables. Another treble marked him up to 13, now in third, and just under $3 million in earnings. Ernst Ertel is back in fourth, had 1 victory, and is up to 13 as well. Ibrahim Al-Hadrami rounds out the top 5, easily topping all in victories, with his big President Cup victory nearly $6 million in the bank, and 11 victories won this week. Among the jockeys, Tiger O'Shea has moved into first place. He is tied in wins with Connor Beasley at 18, but his 4 victories and 22 seconds on the season make him number 1 over Beasley. Beasley holds steady, of course, and has the most earnings of any jockey this season with $6.8 million. Danny Tudhope shockingly didn't get a victory this week, holds steady with 16 and is in third. Ben Combe has burst into the top 5. He now has 13 victories, 2 this week, 8 seconds, and a leading 25% strike rate. And rounding out the top 5 is Sandro Pava, with 13 victories, 3 seconds to Ben Cohen's 8, thus being 5th instead of 4th. Now let's head to Japan for some bonus action in one of its richest races of the year. Worth more than $6 million, the Arima Kinnin is an invitation-only affair, usually featuring the very best horses in the country. Of course, Dudus was the big favorite in the race, but was injured and retired a couple days before it. Instead, the race turned into a wide-open affair, with 9-5 favorite Urban Chic being the now horse that everyone was talking about. Instead, it was another offspring of Suave Richard, Regalaria, who battled down the straight with fellow color bearer Shahryar, a Shimo Classic winner in his own right, to win by just a nose. She became the first 3-year-old filly to win the Arima Kinnin since 1960. Kei Tetsusaki was aboard for Tetsuya Kimura. Christian Demuro ran on well in second with Shahryar for Hideaki Fujiwara. Danon Decile, a Japan Derby winner, was back in third. Horses you've seen run here in Dubai also ran well in the race, including Justin Palace, finishing 5th. Rushin Park was back in 7th, fresh off his 2nd in the Breeders' Cup Turf, and Danon Beluga, who in the past has placed in the Dubai Turf, was back in 9th.
And the home straight beckons now for the 15 runners, and it's still Danon Desal that leads out, and Norihiro Yokoyama, the Derby winner, still has a lead from Bellagio Opera. Here comes Shahryar, Regalaira with a good run as well. Roshan Park has finished, Danon Beluga is beaten into the closing stages now. Shahryar and Regalaira, Shahryar, Regalaira go head to head up towards the line. It's close, it's very close indeed between Shahryar and Regalaira on the far side.
Regalaira is a daughter of Suave Richard, as previously mentioned, himself third in the Shima a few years ago. We will hopefully see her here in Dubai in April for the Shima Classic. Now let's look at what's coming up this week. We have a huge day in California. We're going to hopefully bring you that action, including 3 Grade 1s and 3 Grade 2s on Santa Anita's opening day, with some familiar faces in there, including Kentucky Derby winner Mystic Dan and the Grade 1 Malibu. We'll definitely see some horses come out of those races here in the Middle East. Local action includes Jebel Ali this Saturday, the 28th. Sharjah will have the GCC Cup on the 29th to round out the action this year in 2024 in the UAE. We thank you for tuning in and wish you a very happy new year. In the meantime, may all your photo finishes be winning ones.